The most frequently asked question in all of Grounded game preview history has finally been answered. The Grounded 1.0 full game release is coming in September, as revealed by the Grounded trailer that was shown off over the weekend at the Xbox Bethesda showcase. And although the trailer answered the community's biggest question, it left us with an even bigger pile of questions that still need to be answered, or at the very least speculated over. Like, is this a new armor? Is that a new armor? What do they do? How do they work? What are they made of? What about this weapon? Is it a scythe? Is it a boss weapon? What sort of damage type is it? Does it come from this spider? Is this a Black Widow spider? Is it under the hedge? What about this mantis? It is a mantis, right? And it's probably going to be a boss, right? Is this a new lab? Is that a garden gnome? Is this an underground space that Obsidian Entertainment has been hiding from us? And what's up with this thing? What the crap biscuit is that thing? I don't know, but it's not going to stop me from speculating about it. Because if there's one thing I do know, it's that if you're a fan of Grounded-themed, Grounded-related content presented in discussion and tutorial format, then you found the right channel, because that's basically all that I do here, and if you enjoy that, then you could do me a huge favor by defeating the like button with a powerful thrust kick, and I hope that this video earns your subscription today. Neat! What up? It's Tiny Pirate Gaming here with some brand new Grounded update information and speculatory theorizationalized ramblings related to everything new that was revealed by the Grounded full release trailer showcased over the weekend. In September of this year, just a few months from now, Grounded 1.0 will be released, and along with it comes the full story and a completed yard to explore, craft around, and build on top of. The short 2-minute trailer, which is linked below for your viewing pleasure, gave us a brief glimpse into some of the story and also some lore related to the Grounded universe and the game's heroes.
Kids, are you ready for a new wild and wacky fruit flavor? Introducing Apricot.
We know that the Puncho brand is a popular drink with a possible cartoon show marketing campaign that's focused on the teenage demographic with its action-packed advertising, and Apricot is their newest flavor.
Stop by. Make sure you get your Billy Hog hot dog.
We also learned from a television commercial that Get In Jet gas stations sell Billy Hog hot dogs, and that they're moist and meaty, and they only cost 50 cents.
Isn't that weird?
Neat! Also, based off of the style of television, as well as the theming of the two Grounded Universe commercials, I feel it is safe to assume that earlier assumptions about the setting of the game's story taking place in the early 1990s can almost practically, potentially, and maybe definitely be confirmed. I also think these 90s themed commercials are really cool and definitely help deepen the lore and expand upon the Grounded world that up until now has only been speculated about. I hope there's more of these fun little Easter eggs to be found around the Grounded play space in version 1.0. We also see some other sort of cartoon playing on this Oak Lab monitor, which I think is really neat. But most intriguing of all is the news blurb, which shows portraits of the game's primary protagonists and announces that they are only the most recent teens to go missing in the local town.
Special breaking report. More local teenagers have gone missing. This could be linked to the disturbing trend of missing teenagers from our otherwise quiet town.
This could explain some of the other shrunken skeletons that game preview players have stumbled across while exploring the pre-release backyard. It also raises some concerning questions about the morality of Dr. Wendell Tully's experimentations and how he recruits his test subjects, but we'll touch on this again later. Because actually, wait a minute, forget the news blurb, the missing teens, and the probability of Dr. Tully's sinister nature. Because the most exciting and intriguing part of this trailer's opening sequence is that the door into the house is open and we get a chance to see inside. What could this mean? Will it be open like that in version 1.0? Have the devs been trolling us about the size and scope of Grounded's ability to be infinitely expanded upon? Or was this shot only done for cinematic, dramatical effect? I don't know. But either way, I still think that seeing game assets inside of the house is really neat. The assets and resources used in these shots all appear to be from actual gameplay models, and it even appears that in these opening scenes, the door and porch open out directly over the flooded region. Hey, they got a garden's gnomes! This is very different from the layout of the current game preview version of the yard, which has the door and the porch of the house open out over the haze region. Again, this could all simply be for dramatic effect, but if it's not, and these shots are actually taken from the version 1.0 build of Grounded, it potentially means that the yard could be receiving a major makeover between now and Grounded's full release in September. Anyway, we also get a nice glimpse into the upper yard's currently under construction regions, which reveal a few new landmarks. It looks like there's a coffee maker in the far left corner between the corner of the shed and the back wall, possibly another trash pile, a tree stump which grounded triple OGs might recognize from earlier versions of the game, another wood pile, and another hedge region far off in the distance. There's also a hose nozzle sticking off from the side of the shed, and probably a dozen other notable things that I missed while writing this script. Let me know down in the comments if you spotted anything that I may have missed, like this lawnmower. The trailer also gave us some interesting cinematic styled shots of the spawn cave, the haze biome, the oak lab door, and some other areas that are already explorable in the game preview. But something that's not currently available in the Grounded game preview is this new armor set and weapon being worn by Pete. I can't be 100% sure on this, but I have a feeling that this fancy new gear set may or may not be related to a brand new boss, but more on that later. Because also mixed among a series of other cinematic shots are a few glimpses into a massive subterranean biome. If you've been watching all of my videos or catching my live streams over on Twitch, then you already know that I've been speculating for months now about the high probability that underground regions of the yard have been cut intentionally from the game preview and reserved for version 1.0. I've suspected this primarily due to the tunnels found around the yard that seem to be abruptly cut short or are entirely blocked off by rocks. However, the infrastructure and plumbing in this shot imply that this particular region is located underneath of some type of building, most likely the shed. I say this because observant players within the Grounded community have already discovered that if you make a save alongside the shed's door, it titles the biome name as the Undershed. All of this indicates most likely that the area being revealed in this shot here is probably, possibly, potentially, and most definitely going to be located under the shed. It's also worth noting that in this shot, Hoops is now wearing the full set of that new mystery armor that Pete was wearing earlier. But again, we'll hold off on that for now. Because what's more interesting about these brief cinematic shots is this one depicting a portion of what can only be described as a micro-mutant monster man lurking in the shadows, while also wearing briefs. We're only granted a partial shot of whatever this thing is, but we can still theorize as to its origins using our detective skills along with what we already know. For example, it is wearing underwear, which seems to imply that whatever this thing is now, it used to be a human, perhaps one of those other missing teenagers. Could it be some sort of Dr. Wendell Tully experiment gone horribly wrong? Could Dr. Tully be abducting local teenagers for his sinister shrinking science experiments and creating a superpowered genetically enhanced army of easily manipulated mindless micro-mutant monster mans to conquer the world? Is it some type of micro-sized alien invasion force that's been in a secret war with Omniant Technologies practicals, and in a bid to train new shrunken soldiers for their hidden defense of the planet, Dr. Wendell Tully is shrinking down local youths to be tested by fire and trained for shrunken survival warfare tactics in his own backyard? Or is this possibly Dr. Wendell Tully himself, all hopped up on 420 weed killer spray gas and muscle sprout steroids? I don't know, but it is sort of creepy and ominous. And if you put those together, you get sinister. That's how math works. And math equals science. Raw science.
Hail
Kill science!
But you know who doesn't care about science? Spiders. New spiders. Black Widow spiders, if I had to guess. I theorized that the Black Widow spiders are going to be a more powerful and aggressive variant of the Orbweaver spiders. They'll likely be found in the hedges and upper yard region, much like the variation between the ladybugs in the lower yard versus the ladybirds in the upper yard. This short shot of the Black Widow spider seems to be taken in the region under the Hedge Lab, but keep in mind that these cinematic style shots could have been taken for the sake of theatrically producing the trailer and might not be 100% accurate as to how or where these new content surprises will be featured, located, and ultimately presented in the game's critical path. After all, the shot of the spawn cave at the start of the trailer depicted Max wielding an antlion greatsword, which any grounded veteran knows is not how you start out the first time when you exit that cave. And since we're talking about gear, we also got to see another new armor set that was briefly showcased during the trailer. It looks to be inspired by Viking themed armors, and my best guess is that it could be a set of black Ox Beetle armor, or perhaps something even more mysterious. It's probably Ox Beetle Armor though, but that's just a theory, a Tiny Pirate Gaming theory. We also got a shot of a new lab with a broken wall and a switch, and another whiteboard. I don't recognize this lab room, so it could be from a new lab, or it could be from a revamped older lab, or it could just be a prop room in the dev build. The main reason I say that is because I'm pretty sure that the whiteboard here is identical to the whiteboard that already exists in the Hedge Lab. But that's the only thing I really recognize from this shot, and I know this is not the Hedge Lab because it's too red. But one thing I do recognize is this, the Praying Mantis. I suspect that the Mantis will be a full-blown boss, very similar to the Broodmother. Based off of the room where the battle appears to be happening, as well as the way the Mantis drops down from the ceiling, I have a feeling that much like the Broodmother, the Mantis will be a boss that's summoned using a certain item and can potentially be replayable. Also, that fancy new weapon and armor set are probably going to be the Mantis Scythe and the Mantis Armor, which you'll get from defeating this boss. But be sure to take all of this spectacular speculation with a dash of salt shards, because it's all just a theory, a Tiny Pirate Gaming theory. Thanks for watching, and cut. Oh wait, one more thing, that freaky creepy micro-mutant monster man's appears to have the same character model as the figures in the Minotaur maze on top of the picnic table. So, have fun with that.
Isn't that weird?
It's not half as weird as the fact that only 3.6% of the people watching my videos are subscribed to the channel. Because if you're a fan of grounded themed, grounded related content presented in discussion and tutorial format, then this is the channel for you, because that's basically all that I do here, and if you enjoy that, then you could do me a huge favor by defeating the like button with a powerful thrust kick, and I hope that this video earned your subscription today. You can also follow me on Twitch for live streams, Twitter for channel news, and join the Tiny Pirate Gaming Discord for discussions on grounded, gaming, content creation, and more, along with me and the rest of the #Tiny Crew. So whether I see you here in the comments, over on the Twitch sphere, or someplace else across the Streamiverse, just know that I really appreciate all of your support, and thank you so much for watching. Until next time.
Arg, matey, watch your step. There be a tiny pirate here.